his talk, a unified symbolic analysis of WireGuard.
So, thanks for the introduction. This is joint work with Pascal Affocan and Dekram Armaud. So, WireGuard is a recent VPN which was presented here in NDSS 7 years ago. It is fully open source, integrated in the Linux kernel, and also integrated in commercial VPNs. WireGuard has been the subject of formal verification. In this way, we can do manual or paper and pen proof, which are quite tedious to obtain for protocols like WireGuard, error-prone, and also this kind of proof are captured difficultly the active directories, which are important for this kind of analysis. And for this kind of proof, manual or paper and pen proof, we can have some concerns about the guarantee we obtain. On the other side, we can use software tools which are dedicated for this purpose. They are automated or semi-automated. Sorry. And as this tool is dedicated for analysis of security protocols, they can handle protocols complexity, and we obtain formal proofs for this protocol. There are two main families of tools, symbolic and computational. Here we focus on symbolic analysis. In the symbolic case, we have two main tools which are named ProVerif and Tamarin, which have their own dedicated approach, their own language, and their own way to modelize protocol. And fortunately, we have a third tool which is named SAPIC+, which was designed 2 years ago, which allows us to obtain results in both Tamarin and ProVerif. And this is the three tools we will use for our analysis. So WireGuard is a protocol which involves two peers, named initiator and responder. They use cryptographic materials, which are named static keys, ephemeral keys, and pre-shared keys. U are the static keys of initiator, V, the static key of responder, X, the ephemeral key of initiator, Y, the ephemeral key of responder, and the PS key. It's a three-stage protocol. The first stage is the peers share the static key. Then there is a key exchange, like in TLS or IPsec. During this key exchange, a secret session key is generated with different products, and this session key is used afterwards in the transport phase of the protocol. Note that in WireGuard, the first transport message shall be from initiator to responder. Note also that in the key exchange messages, there is a MAC that is computed over the message to ensure its integrity. So this is what we call the full protocol of WireGuard. And there's also another version of WireGuard which is used to deal denial service attacks, which is named WireGuard with cookie. There was some previous analysis of WireGuard in both the symbolic and the computational world. And we have analyzed all these previous studies in our paper. And we also analyzed a protocol named IKpsk2, which is exactly the defilement protocol embedded in WireGuard. And the threat models that we want to analyze when we perform this analysis, we want to assess an attacker that read or set access to static keys, ephemeral keys, or PSK, and also an attacker that can corrupt the key distribution I've shown you previously. The security properties that are analyzed in this situation, that is a VPN. It's called message agreement, which is mainly authentication, key secrecy, including perpetual secrecy, and anonymity. So for this previous analysis, we focus on 3 points. What are the scope? Do they analyze the full protocol? So the answer is usually yes, without making deeper analysis. Are IKpsk2 analysis applicable to WireGuard? Similarly, the lazy answer is always yes in this situation. And are threat model equivalent? Are all verification done? Similarly, there was always a lazy answer, which is common, we have a proof, everything is okay. So in reality, it's a bit more tricky. We have to go deeper in the model to look at details of things are modeled to have the correct answers. Especially for the threat models, if we look at all the combinations that are possible for the adversary, we have something like 2 to 17 possible combinations to analyze. So look, for instance, a previous analysis of WireGuard, which was done with a tool named Tamarin in 2018. What is depicted here is the difference between the full protocol and the protocol that is analyzed in this analysis. So here in red is the protocol, the part of the full protocol which is not included in this analysis. So you see that the analysis does not include, for instance, the initial key, static key distribution. It does not include a correct model of the init hello and rec hello messages that because the max that are in these messages are not correctly modeled. And also only one transport message is modeled in this analysis. Similarly, the thread model is quite light in this situation because only the reveal key, the read access to the case for static ephemeral and PSK is modeled in this analysis. So with this light protocol, this light thread model, the three properties that are analyzed are message agreement, key secrecy, and anonymity. We propose a deeper thread model for our analysis. So we obviously include read and set access for all the keys. And also we add a new adversarial capability, which we name pre-computation. Let me explain this now. Because we noticed in the source code of WireGuard, there is an implementation choice that has been done. It is a pre-computation of diffie-Hellman product, which is named here G to the UV. And this pre-computation is done before the session begins, and it's kept in memory during the life cycle of the interface. So we say, okay, there is this implementation choice. Let's assess this, in fact. And note that a corruption of the pre-computation is weaker than a corruption of the key. If you see the pictures on the right, an adversary that access to the private key U and the public key G to the V has obviously access to the pre-computation. Otherwise, the inverse is false. An adversary that access to the pre-computation and G to the V and the public key G to the V has not access to the private key U because of the diffie-Hellman assumption. So to sum up, we have analyzed WireGuard with the three tools that I told you before, Tamarin, ProVerif, and SAPIC+. We analyze the full protocols. It means WireGuard with the full messages, the WireGuard without cookie and with cookie. We have a complete phase model that includes all adversarial capabilities, including the new one that we have defined especially for this purpose. And we have analyzed the security properties of WireGuard, message agreement, key secrecy, including prefactorial secrecy, and anonymity. So what we obtain, let me introduce some notations. We note DV and DU, the fact that adversary corrupts public key distribution, R, index, U, V, etc., the fact that adversary gets read access to a given key, including the pre-computation value that is named C in this situation, and R, U, etc., star, it's the corruption of the key after the session, the WireGuard session. This is especially to model perfect forward secrecy. And this is the result you obtain for agreement and key secrecy property. To read this, for instance, if you focus on the first property, agreement of rec hello messages, if you look at, for instance, the second pattern, NRS and RV, it means that the agreement of rec hello message holds unless adversary has read access to the PSK S, so the pressure key, and read access to the private key of the responder. This is how we read the result we obtain. So we have this kind of result for all the properties, agreement of all messages, key secrecy from initiator view and responder view. So now that we have the results, how do we interpret them? First, we see that there is this pattern that is present in all the results for agreement and secrecy. This pattern involves DV or DU. It means that compromise of the initial static key distribution is important in WireGuard. It compromises the security of all properties. And clearly, this initial distribution shall not be eluded as it is currently in WireGuard specification. Second point, every pattern contains the pre-shared key. It means that the corruption of the pre-shared key allows us to corrupt every property agreement on key secrecy of WireGuard. And as an end user, if you read the specification of WireGuard, the pre-shared key is optional currently. So as an end user, it should make it mandatory, in fact, because it has an impact on all security properties. Third point, and this a posteriori shows that we were right to model this pre-computation. In some cases, the corruption of the pre-computation value has the same impact as the corruption of the private key. This is a pattern that is written here in red for the pre-computation value and in blue for the private key. You see the pattern RC, NS, and RX, sorry. And there is another pattern, RS, RU, and RX. It means that RC has the same impact on RU on a given property. And clearly, this means that an attacker that access to this G2GEV, this pre-computation value, has the same impact as an attacker that has access to the private key, which contradicts the Diffie-Hellman assumption. So this is an implementation choice that has been done by WireGuard, which decreases security. Sorry. And concretely, this pre-computation shall be removed. So it was previously for the agreement and secrecy property. Let's now focus on anonymity. The current claim in WireGuard website and specification is that this property, which is named identity hiding forward secrecy, is rich. What does it mean? If we look at the first message of WireGuard, there is an encrypted value of the public key of the initiator, which is sent. This is U between brackets in blue here. And what this property says, it says that if the private key of the responder leaks, we can decrypt this message and recover this U that is encrypted, and then, and by extension, the identity of the initiator. So this is why it's called identity forward secrecy, because anonymity is broken after the leakage of the responder. Second point, there is a MAC value that is computed at the end of the message, and the key that is used for the MAC is a derivation of the public key of the responder. So if we do hash trials, we can get to which responder we send a message. So this is why the identity of the responder can leak with this first message. So this is what is currently claimed by WireGuard. However, the situation is worse, because if we consider the second message, there is the same issue with the MAC that allows to leak the identity of the initiator. So this point was identified in a computational version of analysis of WireGuard, and we also found the attack with our symbolic analysis. So what is the current real situation for WireGuard? Simply, it does not provide anonymity at all. That's all. And we propose a fix for this anonymity issue, and we propose three fixes. First fix, just remove the MACs for the message. And if you want to keep the MAC, change the MAC computation and just include a secret key in the MAC, because it's a MAC just made for this. There should be a secret key in the MAC. So we propose two fixes that included secret value known by initiator and responder. First fix with J2GEV, and second fix with the pre-shared key. We prove with Tamarin that all these fixes ensure anonymity. And this is the first time we have a proof of anonymity for WireGuard. So, as a conclusion, currently, WireGuard ensures agreement, key secrecy, and perfect forward secrecy. We have recommendation for end users. Use a pre-shared key. It is currently, I repeat, it is currently optional in WireGuard. You should use a operation key. You should care about static key distribution, and do not rely on WireGuard for anonymity. We have also a recommendation for stakeholders. Remove this pre-computation that is currently done because it decreases security. Fix this anonymity issue. So our contribution for this work, we provide a complete model of WireGuard, which is deeper than the previous ones. We propose a fix for the anonymity property. We have a complete street model that includes this pre-computation issue that I've told about. And we also have a necessary and sufficient condition for each property, security agreement, and anonymity. We have modeled a process with SAPIC+, ProVerif and Tamarin, which has currently the 3 main tools for symbolic analysis. All our models, tools, etc., are currently available, functional, and produced on our website. Thanks for your attention.
So I have a methodology question. I'm struggling to understand what is the benefit for you for targeting both ProVerif and Tamarin, because it kind of restricts your expressivity to the intersection of the two, so you are losing some expressivity that you get if you use one tool. But what is the reason for actually targeting two? Is that you want to get more confidence, or?
So in fact, the results are more fast to obtain in ProVerif. So we have a lot of results very quickly with ProVerif, and the threat model in Tamarin is more deeper. In fact, so the attacker has more capabilities in Tamarin. So it's logical to benefit from the two worlds, in fact, because we have fast results with Tamarin, and this is fast result. We compute a formula that we have shown you, and this formula we verify in Tamarin, in fact. So we don't verify everything in Tamarin. We verify everything in ProVerif, and then we complete with Tamarin, in fact.
I see. And is everything kind of generated from the SAPIC inputs?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Even though some of it is not expressible, for instance, in ProVerif?
What do you mean expressible?
Well, I mean, so what I want to understand is whether the property that you write and is compiled to ProVerif, let's say, does it like just fail to verify, or it doesn't give you results in any reasonable amount of time, or it's not accepted as valid input by ProVerif?
So we have some benchmarks, if you want. If this is your question. So we use a dedicated server with 256 cores. And globally, the results are obtained in something like 12 hours, in fact. Okay. And so 1 year of work and 12 hours, 12 hours of computation.
Thank you for the talk, and we then just move to the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for